Global greetings to all dear viewers. I'm Moksha Shukla from class 6th and we are going to study a very interesting topic on the subject science, which is characteristics of living organisms, which is chapter 10 from our science book. Let's start. Our earth contains a variety of living and non-living things. For example, a bird flying in the sky is a living thing, but a cloud or a kite flying in the sky are non-living. All of them show movement, yet one is living and the other two are non-living. A chair and table, we know, are non-living. They cannot move around. Plants also remain at one place, but are living beings. So, what makes something non-living and others living? Are there any common characteristics exhibited by living beings? Perform activity 1 for better understanding. Capacity building, living and non-living. Make a list of different things that you commonly see around your neighborhood. For example, dog, book, pencil, tulsi plant, bird, etc. Compare them to yourself. You know that you are a living organism. Now, make a list of your own characteristics like you can move, you have grown, you need food, you need to breathe, etc. Observe the names in your list one by one. According to you, how many similar characteristics between yours? According to you, are there any similar characteristics between yourself and them? Tabulate it. Which of the things according to you is living? Do all the living organisms according to you exhibit all the characteristics that you do or they exhibit some of the characteristics only? Read further to satisfy your curiosity and understand the common characteristics exhibited by all living organisms. After learning, you must check whether your conclusions of living and non-living in activity 1 are correct or not. Characteristics of living organisms. All living things, be a plant or an animal, show some common characteristics which make them different from non-living things. Let us study these. First, cellular structure. All living organisms are made up of tiny basic units called cells. A cell is defined as the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Some organisms are made of a single cell. They are known as unicellular organisms. For example, amoeba, paramecium, etc. Some organisms are made of many cells. They are known as multicellular organisms such as us, like human, tree, dog, etc. However, all living organisms begin their life from a single cell. The examples of unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms is given in pictorial form. Unicellular organisms, amoeba and paramecium. Multicellular organisms, child and tree. Need for food. We require energy for walking. Birds require energy for flying. Horses require energy for running. While resting, there is no apparent need for energy. But all living beings require energy all the time for various life processes going on inside their bodies continuously. Food is the source of energy for living beings. Therefore, food is essential for all living organisms. Plants prepare their own food through the process of photosynthesis. They are called autotrophs. Animals depend on plants and other animals for their food requirement and are hence called heterotrophs. Growth. Little puppies grow up to become dogs. Small plants grow over a period of time to become huge trees. Ask your parents to show you pictures of you as an infant and see how much you have grown. All living organisms show growth. Growth in plants is different from growth in animals. Plants grow throughout their life, whereas animals grow up to a certain age. Living organisms have a life cycle and a definite lifespan. We will learn about life cycle and lifespan later in the chapter. Respiration. The process of inhalation, taking in air, and exhalation, taking out air, is called breathing. Breathing is a part of respiration process. The process of respiration enables the body to obtain energy from the food it consumes. Respiration requires oxygen, which is provided by the air we inhale. Respiration produces carbon dioxide, which is exhaled. All living organisms need to respire. The mechanism of exchange of gases, respiration, differs in different animals. Earthworms breathe through their moist skin. Fish have gills, which absorb oxygen dissolved in water. Humans breathe with the help of lungs. Frogs breathe through moist skin when in water and with lungs when on land. Activity 2. Observational learning. Breathing in living organisms. Observe any dog or cow while it is taking rest. Notice the slow and rhythmic movement of their abdomen. This slow rhythmic movement of the abdomen is due to breathing. For example, when we inhale, our chest expands because we consume oxygen, and when we exhale, our chest slowly goes in because we exhale carbon dioxide or emit carbon dioxide from our body. In plants, exchange of gases takes place through small openings, mostly on the lower surface of leaves, called stomata. During respiration, plants take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. On the other hand, in sunlight, plants perform photosynthesis using carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Photosynthesis occurs only during daytime, but respiration takes place day and night. Yet, the amount of oxygen produced during photosynthesis is much more than the amount used up in respiration. As a result, plants provide oxygen which sustains life on Earth. Please remember, in photosynthesis, uh, when the leaves get sunlight, they inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. But while respiration, they inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. Response to stimulus. Stimulus is defined as a change in the surroundings or environment of an organism. The reaction of the organism to any stimulus, that is, change in the environment, touch, light, sound, temperature, is called response to stimulus. All living organisms show response to stimuli. If we touch a pointed object like a pin or a thorn by mistake, we pull our hand away immediately. Here, picking of the finger by the pointed object is the stimulus, and pulling away of our hand is the reaction or the response to the stimulus. When we turn on the kitchen light at night, sometimes we catch a glimpse of cockroaches running back to their hiding place. The cockroach responds to stimulus of light by quickly running back to its hiding place. Activity 3. Experiential learning. Response to stimulus. Take a big cardboard box and make a hole about 10 centimeter in diameter. One of the sides. Place a potted plant in it. Keep the box closed so that the sunlight can enter the box only from the hole made in it. Keep the plant in the box for a few days and water it regularly. Note the direction of of growth of the plant. It is growing upright or slanting towards any particular direction. You will notice that the plant is bent towards the hole from which it is getting sunlight. Plants show response towards the stimulus of light. Hungry brains. The leaves of the mimosa plant or touch me not respond to the stimulus of touch. It leaves its leaves droop when touched. Tropism. Movements of parts of a plant towards or away from stimulus is called tropism. The response of a plant towards light, as seen in activity 3, is known as phototropism. Roots have a tendency to grow towards the earth, grow downward towards the earth, while the shoot grows away from the earth. As the response of roots and shoots towards or away from the earth is called geotropism. We will learn more about it later in the chapter. As, as we see in the figure, shoots show negative geotropism as they are moving away from the earth or the soil. Roots show positive geotropism because they are growing towards the earth or in the soil. Excretion. All living all living organisms need to excrete wastes from their body. Animals and plants carry out various life processes which produce some harmful and poisonous substances as by a byproduct. The harmful substances need to be removed to protect the body from their harmful effects. Some plants remove these harmful waste materials from their body as secretions, but some plants are capable of storing waste within their body in a manner that it does not harm them. Plants produce carbon dioxide and substances like gum, resin, latex, white milk like fluid in banana tree, rubber tree, etc. as waste products. Other than the toxic waste produced by the body, animals also need to excrete excess food. The body does not use the entire amount of food consumed. The undigested and extra food is eliminated from the body as waste in the form of feces. Animals, including humans, produce waste products like carbon dioxide, urine, sweat, feces, etc. As seen in the figure, plants excrete in the form of oxygen, gum, and latex. Now, you might be thinking oxygen is not a harmful product, it is useful for us. That is because it is not useful for the plants. Only carbon dioxide is useful while photosynthesis, but they use oxygen only only in respiration. But uh, but photosynthesis is done more, so carbon dioxide is needed more. That is why. Movement. All living organisms show movement. Animals move from one place to another. Their body parts are capable of independent movement, for example, movement of the neck, hands, etc. Animals also show movement of substances within their body. Blood in the body transports sorry. Blood in the body transports various nutrients to all parts of the body. Plants are generally anchored to the ground with the help of their roots. We have seen in the earlier activity that plants respond to sunlight and show growth in the direction of light. The drooping down of the leaves of the mimosa plant, movement of the sunflower to face the sun, and opening and closing of the flowers in response to light are some of the examples of plants showing movement. Movements of substances like water, minerals, and food takes place within plants. Reproduction. All living organisms reproduce. Some living organisms lay eggs such as birds and snakes, while some give birth to young ones like humans and cats. This phenomenon of producing young ones of their own is called reproduction. As you can see in the figure, egg hatches into a chick, snake lays eggs, human reproduces, and cats also give birth to young ones. Birds lay eggs and these eggs hatch into chicks. Cats give birth to kittens and cows give birth to calves. So, we see that adult animals reproduce young ones of their own kind. Plants also reproduce. Some plants produce seed which germinate and give rise to young plantlets. For example, cotton, mango, coconut, etc. Some plants can give rise to another plant to their body part also. A rose plant can be grown through stem cuttings. A part of potato with bud can be grown into a new plant. Now, there is a trick to identify which animals reproduce and which ones lay eggs. The ones which reproduce with young ones by giving birth are called viviparous. Viviporous. But the ones which lay eggs are called oviparous. Oviporous. Now, the trick is by seeing the ear. If you may have noticed, birds' ears are not at all visible, but they lay eggs. So, um, which animals' ears are not visible, matlab prominently? They are oviparous, means they lay eggs. But which ones are visible, like us humans? They reproduce through giving birth, viviparous. This is just for an extra knowledge. Why is reproduction important? All living things die. So, reproduction ensures that the particular type of organism can survive even if the individual may die. Thus, we see that living things show certain common characteristics which non-living things do not share. Some of these features may be difficult to determine. For example, movement in plants, growth of an egg, respiration in a seed. It is possible that a living organism may not show all its characteristics in some conditions. So, we must be very careful before classifying anything as living or non living. Germination of a seed. In the previous section, you read that some plants reproduce through seeds. But what is a seed? Have you cut an apple? Do you find some seeds in it? What about some vegetables like gourd or lemon? Do they have seeds? Seeds are generally found in the fruits of a plant. A seed is a tiny life supporting package which can give rise to a new plant. Parts of a seed. To study the parts of a seed, soak a bean seed for a few hours. It will swell up and open easily. The outer hard cover of the seed which had swollen is called the seed coat. The seed coat protects the seed until the conditions are favorable for its germination. A seed may remain inactive for weeks, months, or even years. Remove the seed coat and you will find two seed leaves or cotyledons. The seed carries an embryo, baby plant, which contains the basic parts, that is, small shoot, plumule, and root, radicle, from which the seedling develops. The food required to keep the embryo alive is available in cotyledons. You have read about monocot and dicot seeds in chapter 2. Seeds like grams, peas, beans, and are dicot seeds as they have two cotyledons. Seeds like maize, rice, and wheat are monocot seeds as the two cotyledons cannot be separated. They don't have two cotyledons. As you can see in the figure, there is the structure of a seed given. The brown cover is the seed coat, which inside there are two cotyledons. And if you see, there's a small plant there, that is the embryo. And the outer greener part is the cotyledon, which provides nourishment to the embryo. What is germination of a seed? Germination means development of a seed into a seedling or a young plant. A seed can germinate only when the conditions are favorable for it. What are those conditions? Perform the following activity to understand the conditions that are essential for germination of a seed. You will see that the seed germinates only in jar D. Why? Jar D had water, air, and warmth or sunlight required for the seeds to germinate. The activity is at the back. Experiential learning, germination of seed. Take a few bean seeds. Put one seed each in 4 jars and mark them as A, B, C, D. Keep them under the shown conditions. A1. Dry cotton and then seed on the top. B. Moist cotton and seed in an airtight jar. C. Moist cotton and seed. Place this jar in the refrigerator. Moist cotton and seed. Keep the moist cotton always and place this jar near a window. Observe these seeds for a few days. In which jar did the seed germinate? Now, not A, because it was dry cotton and the seed did not get water, so it was not able to germinate, and neither sunlight. B, not this also, because the seed needs air. It is a living being. Without air, it can't germinate. C. Moist cotton and seed, which was placed in the refrigerator. This also no, because it is given the other things, but it cannot germinate in a cold environment. But D1, because it got proper sunlight, it got water, it got air, and these three are the most necessary things for a seed to germinate. Stages of germination. During germination, the seed absorbs water and warmth. The cells of the embryo start dividing and the embryo increases in size. Second, eventually, the moist and soft seed coat breaks open and a small root radical comes out. The root grows downwards because of gravity. Next, the foliage leaves, first leaves or cotyledons appear which form the shoot, which eventually produces stems and leaves. The shoot grows upwards towards the sunlight. The seedling grows green leaves and the cotyledons dry up. The green leaves start preparing food by photosynthesis, as given in the figure. In the first one, it has germinated. In the second one, the radical has come out. In the third one, the cotyledon has also come out, but in the fourth one, it is finally reproduced. Geotropism in plants. Let us understand geotropism through the following activity. Activity 5, Experiential Learning. Geotropism in plant. Take a metal can or glass tube, open at both ends. Place some moist cotton in it. Keep the can horizontal on the table. Gently try to place some seedlings in the can parallel to it. Place the can horizontal at a place where it receives adequate sunlight. Make sure that it does not roll. Keep the cotton moist by adding drops of water. After a few days, you will find root and shoot emerging from the can. Continue the process of watering for a few more days. In which direction do you see the root grow? In which direction do you see the shoot grow? Note down your observations. What can you conclude? You will find that the root grows downwards towards the earth, ex- exhibiting positive geotropism, and shoots grow upwards away from the earth, exhibiting negative geotropism. Life cycle of a plant. You have learned earlier that all living things have a limited lifespan. So, they produce their own kind to maintain existence. The process by which a living being produces a new individual of his own kind is called reproduction. All living things, including plants, reproduce so that their species may not die out. From the sowing of the seed to the bearing of fruits, a plant undergoes different stages of life. This entire process is known as the life cycle of a plant. Perform the following activity for better understanding. Experiential learning, life cycle of a plant. Before that, please observe the figure. From seed, it germinated, then it grew, and it became a plant. Sow a few bean seeds in a few pots of your garden. Make sure to keep the pots in a place where it gets adequate sunlight. Add some manure to it. Water the plant regularly for a few days. After how many days do you see the shoot emerging from the soil? Note it down. Continue the process of watering and caring for the plant. You will see it grow. When do you observe that the plants are bearing flowers? Note it down. After how many days do you notice the flowers giving way to the fruits? Note it down. You will find that they bear seeds. Note down your observations. What can you conclude? Every young sapling gradually grows into a mature plant. A plant is said to be mature when it bears flowers. Flowers play the most important role for reproduction in plants. When you visit a garden, you enjoy the sight of fascinating shapes and brilliant colors of beautiful flowers. Some of them also have a pleasant fragrance. Have you ever wondered why do flowers have bright colors and pleasant fragrance? The beautiful colors and the fragrance of the flowers attract animals and insects to it. When they move from one flower to another flower, they transfer tiny particles called pollen. Pollen helps in fruit formation. Fruits store food for the new plant and they bear seeds. Such insects which transfer pollen from one to other are called pollinators, such as bees. Don't be scared from them. Seeds contain the baby plant. When a seed germinates, it grows out in the form of a young sapling. When all the activities in a plant cease to exist, the plant is said to be dead. Life cycle of animals. You have read about the life cycle of a plant in the previous section. Just like plants and animals also have life cycle. The various stages that an organism passes through from birth till death make up its life cycle. Different stages of life for different animals can be different. In this section, we will learn about the cycles of mosquito and frog. Life cycle of mosquito. Tim, Sujata, and Aslam are friends. All three of them came down with malaria during the monsoon season. The health workers in the hospital told them that malaria is spread through a particular mosquito bite. They also learned that mosquito bites can spread some more diseases which causes a lot of pain. They wondered that from where do these mosquitoes come? When they recovered, they asked their teachers in the school about mosquitoes. They were surprised to know that the mosquito breed in stagnant water. And if everyone contributed toward taking action and being aware, mosquito population can be limited. This will further limit the diseases. Look at the given image of the life cycle of a mosquito. The four stages that it passes through are egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The adult female mosquito lays eggs on the surface of the water. Eggs hatch into larvae, which are also called wrigglers. Larva feeds in the water but comes to the surface of water to breathe air. It develops into the third stage, pupae or pupa, also referred to as tumblers. Both larva and pupa look like worms. The adult mosquito breaks out of the pupa and flies away. The lifespan of an adult mosquito is about 10 to 15 days. The complete change in body structure takes place in the life cycle of a mosquito. This is called metamorphosis. Now you may observe uh, the eggs, then it converted into larva is given its larva, then it goes into the pupa, then it breaks out and converts into an adult. Malaria is mostly caused during the night time. It is caused by the Anopheles female mosquito. It carries a parasite called Plasmodium falciparum. Dengue is mostly caused in the day. It is caused by Aedes mosquito. It is a dengue virus and we get hemorrhagic fever in it. Just for general knowledge. Life cycle of frog. Activity 8, Exploration. Visit a nearby shallow pond to view different stages in the life cycle of a frog. Make a trip with adults to a nearly shallow pond in the rainy season. Be properly dressed and follow the instructions of the adult with you. Never go out on your own. Try to look for jelly like substance around the water or sticking to the leaves or of some plants in the water. What do you think these are? Also, observe and make notes of different stages and their features of life in the life cycle of a frog. Now, definition. Metamorphosis can be defined as the biological process in which there is a complete change in the form or structure of an animal during its development. The jelly like substance that you saw is the cluster of the eggs of the frog called spawn. Frog eggs do not have shells. They are covered with jelly like substance for protection. The eggs grow into the embryo stage. Early tadpoles have a tail, which helps them to swim in water. When tadpoles grow into the later stage, they develop legs, but they also have a tail. Tadpoles metamorphosize into froglets, which start to look more like frogs and have stronger legs, but they continue to have tail. At this stage, they start moving on land too. Froglets grow and lose their tails to become adult frogs. As an adult, they can lose their tails to become adult frogs. As an adult, they can live both in land and in water. How many stages can you say are there in the life cycle of a frog? There are four main stages: egg, tadpole, froglet, and adult frog. In this chapter, you have learned about the characteristics that exhibited by living beings. Thus, you learned that plants and animals are living beings. Both plants and animals undergo changes in different stages of their life. Life cycle of every organism is different and unique. Earth is home to all living beings. It is important they survive and thrive for our own survival. Now, new terms. Characteristics. A feature typical of and helping to identify a person or thing. Unicellular, made up of one cell. Multicellular, made up of many cells. Stimulus, anything which produces a response in an organism. Response to stimulus, reaction of the organism to the stimulus, that is, change in the environment. Tropism, movement of the organism towards or away from stimulus. Phototropism, movement of an organism towards or away from light. Geotropism, movement of an organism towards or away from gravity. Life cycle, different stages that an organism undergoes from birth to death. Death. Metamorphosis, the biological process in which there is a complete change in the form or structure of an animal during its development. Let's summarize the chapter. All living organisms have common characteristics such as cellular structure, need for food, growth, respiration, response to stimulus, excretion, movement, and reproduction. Living things have a life cycle and a definite lifespan. Any change in the surroundings of an organism is called stimulus. Germination means development of a seed into a seedling or a young plant. Necessary conditions for germination of seed are warmth, water, and air. Roots of plants exhibit positive geotropism by growing towards gravity. Shoots of plant exhibit negative geotropism by growing against gravity. Life cycle of most plants starts with germination of seeds. Seedlings grow into plants which bear flowers. After pollination, flowers develop into fruits. Fruits contain seed in them and the life cycle continues. The four stages that a mosquito passes through in its life cycle are egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The four stages that a frog passes through its life cycle are egg, tadpole, froglet, and adult frog. So this is the end of the chapter. Hope you liked the topic. Stay tuned, stay positive. Till then, bye bye.